All right, here's what I want you guys to do. In the chat box, put stuff that you'd like to hear role play today, or because this is the real role play mastermind, right? So I want to hear like stuff that you want to work on, maybe specific scenarios, a specific conversation, something that you need to work on, a recent situation you had that you didn't do so good, or you'd like to role play. That'd be good too, by the way. You have these conversations because we're always having conversations. We're creating conversations, we're carrying conversations, we're closing conversations, prospecting, presenting. We're at open houses. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, but at the end of the day, we make money by being in relationship with more people, and by being in relationship with more people, that means having better conversations. Okay. I always like the expired listing one, Evelyn, because that's my wheelhouse. I don't know. Prieto Group, you guys don't really do any of that, right?
Like I said, we just kind of started getting into listings. That was more Jason, but I know like Javier's started doing that too.
Yeah.
I was already telling Jason, I don't know. I like the expireds more. I feel like they're more friendly. The FSBOs, oh my God, they're mean.
Yeah. If Mike, my FSBO script disarms them real quick. I don't know if you used it before.
No, I just jumped into stuff and I
Okay, yeah,
somehow,
that's your. There you go. There you go.
yeah,
You tried to jump in the hot soup.
yeah,
Like you
I
gotta
did.
look when you don't know the conversation, you're gonna get taken for a ride. Okay, when you have strategy, James, this is why this is important. When you have a strategy for the conversation and you know all the different ways that it could go, because if it's only going to go a handful of ways, James, I mean literally a handful of ways, then you can know how to handle whatever's coming at you because you know what to expect and you know where to take it. Okay, now the skill set is you being able to, to be flexible, to be versatile, for you to be able to continue these conversations in spite of what they say, because a lot of these people are motivated, but they just ain't going to tell you, James, because you're a salesperson, you stranger. And Mike, that FSBO script, dude, I'm telling you, it's one of the best scripts that I've ever written.
I gotta get into it
Get it, because it really works FSBOs really, really well. Okay.
because the expires they're more I don't know that for me they've been more easy to deal with because like they're pissed off at the agent they had that wasn't able to sell it, but they're
Yeah.
not mad at me
Right.
necessarily.
So look now, dude. Let's point something out here. That's a mindset though, because what happens is that you have that mindset already. They're not mad at me, and so your mindset's already like, I know why they're pissed off. They're pissed off because the property didn't sell. They're pissed off because they may have had a bad agent, and so that
Yeah,
mindset transcends Jake. Jake, when that mindset transcends with expired withdrawals, is that when you have the right mindset, and I know that you have a pretty good mindset with expireds and withdrawals, Jacob, that your conversation sounds different. Your ability to engage people at another level is different. Okay, James, whoever you're calling, I don't know who you're calling. Who you calling, James?
I'm just calling out a fog on the Shark Tank.
Okay, so what is that? Internet leads?
Internet leads.
Yeah. So you're calling internet leads, right? So they're cold too. I mean, they aren't always expecting the call, or it's been a while since they've been in there. And so some of them are frustrated, right? And what's my mindset? So look, what's my mindset with calling expired listings? What's my mindset with calling for sale by owners? What's my mindset with calling sphere of influence, Lydia, right? What's my mindset with calling with circle prospecting? What's my mindset with hesitancy with buyers? Okay, let's jump in on that. Hesitancy with buyers. Okay, Javier. So you're talking to somebody. They're a buyer consultation. You're at the consultation. You're calling them over the phone. Where are we?
So
Phone.
showings. We're showings. We're looking at houses.
Okay, you're showing it looking at houses, and so give me some context. We're looking at a house, and when do you hear somebody say that, or when did you hear somebody say that, or what's our frame?
The frame is that they're looking at some options. They found the perfect one that checks all their boxes. They both agreed on that. You see the body language. They're just not ready to commit or put an offer. So how do you handle that?
Okay, all right. So what is your biggest challenge in regards to being better at handling that specific objection?
They say, "Hey, we need to think about it," but then they think and they don't. They want to continue to look at options. It's just I don't know how to show the value that, hey, you might miss out on this opportunity. That you might not find anything that checks all your boxes again.
Okay. All right. So remember, rule number one, Mike, what is it?
Get to know the people.
Get to know the people. Now, get to know the people is when I'm at an open house, Evelyn, and I'm talking to somebody and I'm trying to ask some questions, and they may be resistant, but I'm better. I'm asking good questions. I'm asking them well. I'm listening carefully. Okay, it happens there. I'm calling expired withdrawals, right? Jake and Mike, right? Or I'm showing a property and I might need to get to know the people. I might need to dive back into that, Javier. Now, get to know the people is cold when I just don't really know who they are, what their situation, what's their motivation. But get to know the people could also mean like, wait a minute, you committed, like we're looking around here. You're pre-qualified. The property checks all your boxes. Like get to know the people is like, what's going on here? Like, what do you mean? Okay, so get to know the people is getting back into not showing or telling, not teaching or training, but like, all right, so look, I got some rub right now. It's a new prospect, open house, expired, withdrawn. I got some rub right now, meaning like resistance, right? I got some resistance. They should be making an offer when they're not making an offer. Okay, so then how am I going to be able to jump back into that conversation and get to know the people? All right, Javier, you want to give it a swing, or you want me to hear me do it first?
I want to hear you first.
Okay.
Some clarity.
Okay, your connection's kind of not fantastic, but your mic is like, let's see how it goes though. Okay. All right, so I'm an open house buyer. We're standing at the property, or we're like talking after we've seen properties? Nope.
You hear me?
Better.
Yeah. We're at the property.
Okay, we're at the property, and I'm gonna ask you if you'd like to make an offer on it, and you're gonna resist. Is that what's going on?
Well, not at the property. We finished showings. This happened at brunch, right? And
Yep.
we were talking about it, and they just wanted to continue to think about it, even after finding the right property. And we discussed their
Yeah.
must-haves, their situation, motivation, and everything, but they were unwilling to commit.
Okay.
So we finished our showings.
All right. Are they first-time home buyers?
No.
Okay. They own a home right now?
Yes. They're buying a vacation home.
They're buying a vacation home. Okay. That's good to know. Look, context. Get to know the people's about, look, you guys should be context digging and context giving machines. Like, what the hell's going on here? Okay. This is important, right? Because they're buying a vacation home. That's a lot different than buying a primary home or being a first-time home buyer. Okay. Anything else that I need to know that's important here on this conversation? Who they are?
They're from out of state. They came from Colorado and they came to Florida. They want to buy a vacation home. They're getting closer to retirement, and they want to make it a primary residence within the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, that's good. So it'll be a vacation home that they use periodically, that they ultimately want to turn into a and do they have any family there?
In Florida?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So they just came just for the trip. Or
yes, they came for a span of 3 days. We look at some properties. They send me
Okay.
their bank cash. They send me proof of funds and everything. And it's just a matter of them committing
Okay.
to the property.
So watch this. Did they do you know before they came out, did you ask them, hey, if you see a property that you love and it fits everything that you're looking for, are you guys considering to make an offer when you get here?
I didn't ask that per se, but I did ask it on the brunch, because this is the thing. He had a property that he said that was the one that fixed all his needs. But when we went to that property, he didn't like it as much. But then throughout the days, in the span of the 3 days, we found another one that they both absolutely love. And then he was like, "Oh, I'll probably call you within the next 2 days and tell you to submit an offer. We just want to think about it." That's the last conversation we had.
Sure. Okay. That's no problem. And look, they may need to think about it. But let's walk through this, because when somebody says, hey, I need to think about it, especially when you're at the end of a listing presentation, Evelyn, somebody says, I need to think about it, you better be able to dig in there and have a constructive conversation with them. Otherwise, Mike, you're an amateur. You're an amateur, man. Like, come on. Somebody says they got to think about it. Cool. I mean, that's why you're there, is to think about it. Like, let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. All right. So okay, just real super quick lesson there before we role play, which is Javier. This isn't in the buyer pre-qualification, but maybe it's a question that you absolutely need to ask. Maybe at the buyer presentation. Hey, if you see an offer in the next 90 days and it fits everything that you're looking for, are you going to consider to make an offer? Yes. Okay, cool. No. Why are we looking at properties? Okay, so, but this guy's coming out, he's going, all right, I'm coming out in 3 days. Okay, so you're coming out in 3 days. I mean, if you see something you absolutely love, you going to consider making an offer on it? Possibly. No. Okay, now I know. Like, no, he's not. Okay, what would keep you from doing that? And then he tells you. Because maybe there's something there. I don't know. Maybe it's a doubt, insecurity. I'm a little concerned about the market. Maybe it's a technicality. I have my retirement and it's not cashing in until June 1st. I don't know. Right? Now, look, you should be setting yourself up, Javier, all the time for how do I be more efficient? How do I be more effective? Because if somebody says, I wouldn't make an offer in the next 90 days, then why the fuck, what are you doing? Like, why am I taking you out to go see properties if you're not going to make an offer in the next 90 days? Now, that's not this guy. I'm just saying, like, clarity is power. Okay, here we go. All right, Javier, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Javier, it's Pauly Campanero. How you doing?
Good, and you?
Good. Hey, I'm glad you picked up the phone. I've been thinking about you the last half day here. Was now a bad time?
I'm a little busy, but go on.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll make sure it's nice and short here. So, I wanted to get your opinion. I know that you and your wife had expressed quite a bit of interest in that last property on 123 Street that we took a look at. I was wondering what your thoughts were to make an offer.
We're still thinking about it. We're just we're just taking a consideration of all the options that we looked at, and
yeah,
and we still don't know if that's the area where we want to stay, but it does checks all our boxes, but
yeah,
we're still discussing it.
Yeah, sure. And you know what? Absolutely. Obviously, you guys want to be calculated. I mean, you're coming in from Colorado. This is going to be kind of your forever home ultimately, right?
Yes, eventually.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable and confident that the purchase is something that you guys feel 100% solid in. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
Okay. So when you say check all the boxes, I mean, there was quite a few boxes to check. Like, what boxes didn't it check?
It's perhaps the distance to the airport. Everything else is good, and we still don't know if that's a must-have for us, because we're only going to be traveling here, twice a year, perhaps. It's just an hour drive from the airport to here after flying for 4 hours, from Colorado to Florida. It's just a little bit too much, and that's where we're at.
Yeah. How far did you track it out on the map? How far it was? How many miles from the property to the airport?
Yes.
How many miles was that?
It was like 55, 60.
Okay. How often are you guys going to be using the airport?
About twice a year. So we're
Twice
busy. We're swamped with work up here. It's not like
Yeah.
we're going to be traveling every 3 months.
Yeah. So I'm looking at I don't have all the numbers here in front of me. How many properties have we looked at?
Looked at about 10.
10 properties, right. And there was that other one that you liked, but that one didn't work because
as you mentioned, as we mentioned, it needed some repairs, and we're not ready to make those repairs. Especially, we want something that feels like vacation when we come here. We don't want to come and have to do with a fixer upper.
Yeah, and this one kind of fit that bill. It checked that box as far as like it doesn't need a lot of repairs. Is that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Correct, right? Yeah. So besides distance from the airport, I mean, what else is holding you back?
Just the boat thing, the boat storage, which is not necessarily a thing. I was also thinking about downgrading the boat and selling it and buying a smaller boat so that we can fit it in the garage. That's where me and Julie are, discussing those little things before we decide for anything. So it's a big move.
Yeah. Let me ask you, what do you think about the price?
Oh, price is great. Price is great. As I
Price is
mentioned,
great. Yeah.
you look at houses like that where I live here in Vail, Colorado. You're looking at 15 million, 16 million, and 700,000. That's a great price over there in Florida.
Yeah. It's an amazing price, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me ask you, if are you familiar with what's going on in the market today right now as far as property selling?
Yes, just like you explained, it's a little bit of buyers have a little bit of advantage because houses are sitting
They
and there's a
do.
lot of inventory.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we're taking our time too.
Yeah. Well, you know what I may not have disclosed, Javier?
What is that?
I may not have disclosed that properties in this market that are priced really well. Because I mean, we think this price is really good, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah. So properties that are priced well and have are ready to go, like they don't need repairs, they're upgraded, they're updated. I mean, those properties are selling in 30 days or less, sometimes in a couple of weeks. And how many days on do you remember how many days this was on market?
A little bit. Yeah, it had a price reduction. Um, they was they started like in March, so about
Yeah.
45 days, 45 to 60 days, something like
Yeah,
that.
45 days, and they do reduce the price when? How long ago?
That's a great question. It was within that week.
Yeah, within a week. And can I share with you the average property going under contract after a price reduction? The average usually is?
Sure.
Yeah, 14 days. So now here's why I'm telling you this, Javier, is because that if you really like the price and you think that it's a great price and it's a great property, and I mean, there's always going to be concessions as far as what what you're going to compromise on a home, and it's a couple, it's an hour away from the airport, but admittedly, maybe you use it 1 or 2 times a year. That if you think it's a great house and a great price, there's probably at least 3 or 4 other people out there that are already looking at it too, that think it's a great price. So that's why I wanted to know. Like, I mean, obviously you guys have had some time to think about it already, but honestly, besides the airport, I mean, is there really anything else holding you guys back from making an offer on the property?
I used to be so sure about things before when I was younger. It's just so many things to think about. I'm very analytical. It's just
Yeah,
I've been burned before when I make like quick decisions, and I just don't want this to
yeah.
be like that time.
So when you say quick decisions, I mean, we looked at it like 3 days ago. So what's a quick decision to you? Like 24 hours or a week or what? I mean, because here, Javier, here's the thing. I don't want you to call me in a week from now and then the property's gone. And yeah, you could come back and come go through the whole process again to like come back in a month or whenever you guys come back and then deal with it again. But I mean, this house checks all the boxes, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you do this? Talk with your wife again. It's 12 o'clock right now. Should I call you back at 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Okay, let's get on the same page because this property has had a price reduction already, and I'd hate for you guys to lose it. And look, if there's anything else that we should be talking about, that's why I asked you a couple times. What else? What else do I need to know about this property or about your mindset in regards to consideration? Because if it's just like wanting to make sure you feel good about it, is that what it's really about? Is it about you feeling good about it?
Yes, making sure we're not
Yeah.
acting on impulse.
And do you feel it's a good price? You already told me that, right?
Yes.
And you feel the quality and the condition of the property is outstanding, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Amazing property.
Can I tell you how I feel, Javier?
Sure.
I think it's a great buy. I think it's a really good buy. So let's do this. Talk to your wife, and I'll call you back at 6 o'clock tonight, and then we're gonna talk about how we can put an offer together or not. That either one is fine with me. But I think if you go to your gut, Javier, you're gonna probably have the answer that we're both already talking about right now. I'll call you at 6 o'clock. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, break script. Now, the only reason I did that is because you have a wife, you got somebody else to talk to, and you weren't the sole decision maker. So pressuring you to make a decision is probably not realistic. And let's get realistic. He's got to talk to his wife. Maybe she's on the phone, and then I start going at her too. And I go, hey, Mrs. Herrera, how do you feel about it? Oh, I love it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes that happens, right? The other person is in alignment with where they should go, and then that helps the cause. or it's not, whatever. But like, I'm able to like go at them right there and then. Okay. Takeaways that you heard that you, no, let's go with you, Javier. What's your takeaway from that?
I need a recording from this role play. I need to watch everything you said, and I need to say it, just say what you said it
You're
back to
in
my
luck.
client.
I recorded it. So I'll send you the recording.
I like how you mentioned the price reduction and how long they go on their contract after they've been reduced. The price has been reduced because it created urgency. I felt it.
Well, so remember, I'm not in the convincing stage. I know some of this data was used to be able to help you make a decision, but at the end of the day, it's like, what artillery do you have to come to the conversation and start firing to be able to bring them to the conclusion that they should make an offer on this property? Because in all reality, like, should they make an offer on the property? Sounds like it. False or true? Now, and you don't know the numbers. I don't know that you have this. Our MLS has something called Unlock MLS. It's a newer feature in the last 6 months, and we're able to see per zip code data like that, basis off pricing and demand and price reductions, and we can see how often property not just median days on market or average days on market, but once a property lowers the price, how long till a property sells then. Now you could actually do that, pull a CMA, and then look in there and go, okay, when the properties have sold, how many days did it take them to sell? Now, properties, some of them needed price reductions. I got to go back to history, and there's only going to be 4, 5, 6 properties there for you to look at in the last 30, 60, 90 days. And for you to go to that conversation prepared and go, okay, I can see that property sold on average 30 days, 22 days, whatever. And I can see that the ones that reduced their price sold within 7, 14, 21 days, whatever. Because I have a feeling, I've been doing this a while, okay? Under $1 million, especially across the country, typically properties that are priced right sell within 30 days. Is that happening in your market, Javier, or no?
Yes.
Okay, and properties that make price reductions sell a couple of weeks. 14 to 21 days is probably the range, but you should know. You shouldn't bullshit and make up, you shouldn't make shit up. You need to know, right?
Yep. I did ask this question when we met for brunch. I said, hypothetically speaking, right, between the time that you think about it and the time we get back together and talk about this, the property goes pending, and somebody else buys and it's gone forever. Would you be okay with moving on?
Okay, now look, that's not a bad question. However, if you haven't had an in-depth questioning process in regards to, all right, tell me what you're thinking about waiting. So what's important about that? So what does that do for you? So what do you think about the market? So what do you think about the neighborhood? What do you think about the price? What do you think about the condition? What do you think about the distance to the airport? Yada, 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 fill in the blank, ask questions. Because that question right there, Javier, is a closing question. Hey, what happens if you sell it if you don't make an offer on the property, somebody else gets it, and then now you don't get the property. That's if you don't ask enough really good questions about what they think or about what they feel about the property or what might be holding them back, it may come across as a shallow question and a salesy closing question. And they can feel it. They can see it. Like you ask it and they're like, well, and then you ask a shallow question because you haven't really got to know the people at a higher level on their mindset with why they want to wait. And then they give you a shallow answer. Well, we'll just, maybe we'll just have to come back out. And then in a week or two, they're actually crying. And they're like, shit, we should have made an offer on that property. Okay. We create conversations for people to grow into. If you think, James, and you're a seasoned guy, right? You've been around the block 1 or 2 or 3 times. That people are just going to fall into our lap and decide to make decisions with us, James, because the property's priced right and it's in good condition, and they're going to spend $700,000, and it's going to happen really easily. This is going to be a painful ordeal for you. This is going to be a painful business for you. I have to create better conversations for them to grow into what is growing, Javier. Questions about what they think and how they feel, not cornering them to close them. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get to a question that goes, how are you going to feel if you don't get it? But if you haven't developed the rapport and really the know of like, what is going on in your head with this out of genuine curiosity, because if you do it to like corner them, they can feel that too. Right? You're like, well, what about this? And you ask it to like, and they know, and they know, and they're like, and then they start pushing back against you because they know that you're trying a sales tactic on them. No, loser, going down. You with me? And I can tell you got a good heart. You got a good attitude. You got good energy, man. So stay there and really want to get to know them at a higher level. And then that's going to create a better connection, better conversation, better relationship, better result. Bang. There we go. All right, let's move on. That was good. Thank you, Javier, for that.
Appreciate it, Pauly.
All
I'm
right.
gonna rewatch this.
You know what? Rewatch it. Okay, let me look in the chat box here. We got SOI. I don't want to do expired FSBO again. We've been doing those. Let's switch it up a little bit on SOI. Lydia's here. What do you mean SOI, Lydia?
Oh,
SOI?
sphere.
Yeah. So I know that means sphere. What does it mean to you as far as like what part of that conversation do you need to improve?
Oh, just calling people that I haven't been really in contact with often, and they're in my phone, kind of like forgot about them. I need to like get them back on my radar.
Okay. Reactivation call?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, there's a script for that. Reactivation calls in the playbook, okay?
Yeah.
And that's, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, there is one.
Okay, so look, I do frog. I think a lot of people heard Ford, frog. That's the acronym, right? Family, occupation, recreation, goals. I say goals instead of dreams. Dreams is a little weird to me, maybe because I'm high D and I don't have any feelings. But like goal, like what are your dreams? Oh, what are your dreams? Okay, kind of weird to me, right? Corey probably likes dreams, but but goals. What are your goals? Okay, everybody should have goals, right? Some kind of goals, right? Like, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to go to Mexico this summer. I want my kid to graduate. Whatever, right? Like, okay, so family, occupation, recreation, goals. All right, so let's do a call. You call me. I'm your sphere, and you have contacts, family, occupation, recreation, goals. Now, on a reactivation call, the goal is not a referral. On the reactivation call, it's, hey, what's going on? I'm so sorry. I have not stayed in touch with you. Let them respond to your apology. Oh, don't worry about it, Lydia. And then jump in. Family, occupation, recreation, goals. Hey, I'd love to stay in touch with you. Now, some of those you might be able to ask for a referral from because you guys are lovesies, right? It's all cool. You love each other. You're totally tight. You just haven't stayed in touch. Okay, cool. Ask for the referral. A lot of them, you're not like that, and it is cold, and asking for a referral would seem salesy and needy. Bad. Go for the connection, because the purpose of a reactivation call is not a referral, it's the reconnection. Because I need to get good at connections, James, and I got to get good at conversations to have better connections to get to know the people, situation, motivation, and then see where I can give and then look for opportunities. But if you're grab-assing, salesy, no. Is this making sense? Am I making sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, Lydia.
Ring.
Hello.
Hey, Pauly.
Hello.
Pauly.
Yeah, who's this?
Hey, Pauly, this is Lydia from high school. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Lydia, what's going on?
Oh my God, I owe you a huge apology, Pauly.
Oh, what's wrong?
Man, I didn't stay in touch with you, and in science class, we used to kill it with the jokes. I passed the school and I thought about you, and I was like, I gotta call this guy. I'm so sorry.
Girl, don't even worry about it. We had some, you drove by the school?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had some good times, huh?
Yeah, we had some good times driving by that school. Well, listen, I want to know really quickly now, since I did get in contact with you, how's your family? How you guys doing?
Good. My mom actually just moved in with us, so that's its own thing. So, but she's okay. We she just needed a little help looking after her, and Randy and Mindy graduated high school. So, I'm just doing that empty nester thing, taking care of my folks.
I love it. I love it. The kids are graduating. You got mom, whole units, the nuclei is, you threw that out for the extended family. I absolutely love it. So, what are you doing? What are you doing these days? Where are you at?
Well, I still work for Dell Computers, so that's just riding that out, and hope to retire in 5 years. So that's been good. Even though the economy's been a little weird, but I think things are pretty secure for us here, me over there.
Sounds good. Dell's Computers, everything is going well. You're possibly heading towards retirement. Boy, that sounds awesome. Do you have any goals? Looking forward to your retirement and enjoying the rest of the life for it?
Yeah. I think that once I retire, I'm gonna do a little traveling, but just depends on what's gonna happen with mom. I kind of still figuring out what care looks like and dealing with that. So that's just gotta figure out what's going on with that.
That makes perfect sense to me. You got to do it in some kind of order. So you're thinking about maybe traveling later on. Where would you like to go?
Oh, we were supposed to go to Italy in 2020, but then, COVID and everything. So I'm looking to maybe schedule that. I wanted to do it this year, but maybe next year. So, maybe abroad a little bit, but we'll see.
I like it. I think Italy would be an awesome place for you to go. You should do it. You should definitely do it.
Yeah, I want to.
So listen, are you still at 123 Main Street, or I have the right address?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? Of course, I want to stay in contact with you now that I found you again, passing by that school. Well, what's a good email for you?
123 at ABC.
123 at ABC. And nothing happens in this world on social media. Do you have a handle on IG or something?
Yeah, Pauly C, the place to be.
Pauly C, a place to be. You see what I'm saying? Those jokes, they just can't stop, Pauly. Listen.
Yeah, I'm just a jokester, girl.
Man, listen, it just was refreshing to talk to you again. I'm glad again the kids are doing well. I hope you guys get to go ahead to Italy, but first, like you said, take care of your mom. That's very important. I get it. I've been there as well. My mother's probably up there in age, just like yours. So she needs a little help, but you're on the right track. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna connect with you on social media. I'd like to follow you, and I'm gonna make a better chance to stay in touch with you.
No worries.
It won't be this long.
Good. Yeah, for sure. It was good reconnecting with you, Lydia.
All right, you have a good one. Okay.
Okay. Take care. All right. Good. See, what's up? That was good. Was that hard?
No, not too bad.
Yeah. What do you find difficult about making those calls, or what's happening in your head?
I think, like, we're always trying to keep it time frame down, like try to get everything as quick as possible, but without sounding rushed. Like, I don't want to rush someone I just connected with, but I don't want it to be long because I want a certain amount of calls for my time frame.
Yeah. I'd say if you kept your call under, somewhere closer to 10 minutes, that's not bad, because you could have went a little bit further into, what's going on with your mom, or something about the job, or a few more questions to like kind of dig in there. Because if you hang around 10 minutes, that's not terrible for an SOI call, and it's just long enough for you to dig in, especially on a reactivation call where you maybe want to dig in a little bit further there. And what didn't happen on that call, which I should have role played, which is they do one thing that is a huge opportunity for me. They say, "How are you doing?"
Right.
What are you up to?
I was waiting for it.
Right. Yeah. So Lydia, I've told you this before. You are a fantastic communicator naturally. You are a really good communicator. Okay. So you just got to figure out, how do I stay accountable to stay involved in creating more conversations on a daily basis? Because how many conversations are you creating on a daily basis right now on average? Do you know?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing much better. I'm hanging around 18 to 20.
That's pretty good. If you by the way, if you're anybody who hangs around 20 or more, you're going to be in good shape. at least 4 days a week. 4 days a week minimum. Like to be able to create a business that grows and creates opportunities for you sooner than later.
Right.
Right? Lydia, you are a great communicator. Just stay in those conversations and make sure that you're held accountable to making sure you're creating more of those conversations, and then start figuring out where else you need to engage to work on different aspects of stepping up your game on creating, carrying, or closing. Okay. All right. So for the last role play here, everybody give it up for Lydia. That was a good job. Good job, Lydia.
Thank you.
Okay. We did buyer, we did SOI. Let's do okay, fine, DeMeglio. FSBO. FSBO. Okay. You hate FSBOs?
Yeah, man, they're mean.
Listen, Tajay, you do FSBOs?
I don't do it, but whenever, like sometimes, you know, you get those calls and they are FSBO, I just handle it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So do you got this FSBO script in front of you, Mike?
No, I don't.
Okay. So what are we gonna do? Somebody role play a FSBO.
Let me do it.
I'll do it.
You got it, Christian?
Go ahead. Chris can do it.
Okay, so let's do this. Mike, you be the FSBO. Chris,
Okay.
you be the agent. Chris, don't be an asshole. Look. You can now always role play resistance, always role play attitude or personality styles. That's fine. But you gotta give them something to work with, because you're gonna role play to win. Okay, so you can be tough, you can have resistance, you can have objections, you can make them work 2 times, but like give something up to let them work to be able to work towards a close.
Okay, so I'm the owner.
You're the agent.
Oh, I'm the agent. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Mike. Go ahead,
Okay.
Chris, when you're ready.
Ring.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? This is just Christian here. Listen, this could be a shot in the dark. I know you got your property on Main Street up for sale by owner. Just wanted to ask you, what are the chances we could get that sign from for sale by owner to for sale by realtor? Somewhere in the
You're a realtor?
Yes, I am. Can you close that door?
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in using a realtor. I'm you know, if you bring me a buyer, I'll give you that compensation, but
Bring
I don't want to list it with a realtor.
I see. Not looking to list it with a realtor at this point, but you're open to providing compensation if someone brings you a qualified buyer. Am I on the mark?
Yeah, for a buyer agent, yeah, but I don't want to pay for a listing agent.
I see. Now, let me ask you, if you could get a good offer, and well, let me ask you this first: what has you against wanting to sell on your own, as opposed to working with a qualified professional?
I mean, I'm getting a lot of calls, call after call from people trying to list my house. I keep telling them the same thing, like, bring me a buyer, I'll get you paid for that. But everybody wants me to sign something with them. I don't want to sign.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And what has you against that?
I just don't want to be tied to one agent and then the thing doesn't sell. Like, everyone's calling me saying they want to list it, but no one's bringing me a buyer. So what's the difference?
I see. So what you're saying is like you want to just give yourself the most options to just help it have the ability to sell a little bit better. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. I can understand where you're coming from with that. And then I mean, should someone bring you a buyer, do you have a place that you have in mind at this point in time? Where are you looking to move to?
This is actually a rental property. I've had it. It was my first house. We moved out. I rented it for 20 years. I'm just kind of liquidating now.
Oh, okay. So you're not even in this right here. And what would offloading this property do for you?
It would just be nice to be done with the headaches. I just want to cash out, get my money and be done. Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by headaches?
It's it's the same thing with every house. Like, something's always breaking, something, all the tenants I got to be dealing with. It's a duplex. I got to deal with something comes up every so often besides my own house. Like, I just don't need the headaches anymore.
Besides this in your own primary, do you have any other homes that you're looking to offload?
Nope, just this one.
Okay, it's just this one. And then I know you mentioned it, it being a bit of a headache for you. I mean, you have to deal with these tenants. What would you do like after, you get rid of this headache here? It doesn't sound like you're looking to reinvest, but I don't want to just assume.
No, just enjoy retirement. I'm done. I'm getting older. I just want to be done with the rental property, get my money out of it. Had it for a long time. I'm just done.
Okay. So Mike, let me know if I'm in a ballpark here. So you're trying to offload this last property that you have here off of your portfolio. You're tired of dealing with these rental issues, especially over here in New York. The headaches of being a landlord, and the only thing keeping you from relaxing, and retiring is the sale of this property right here.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just a thorn in my side. I want to be done with it.
Okay, it's a thorn in your side. I get you here. So listen, you're not going to do anything that doesn't make sense, right, Mike?
Definitely not. No.
All right. So what times usually work better for us to just sit down and talk about how, we could possibly make this happen for you? At the end of the day, it'll just be a conversation. You would get to see what I have to offer, how I'll be able to bring you the highest and best offers, despite you not keeping it as an open listing. And at the end of the day, we could go over a game plan as to how we could, get you faster to this retired life rather than, having these headaches as a landlord, because that's what's most important, right?
It is.
Okay, great. So what times usually work better for you, weekdays or weekends?
No, I mean, like I said, I don't want to. I'm really not interested in, going with a realtor.
Really not interested in going with a realtor, even if there was a chance, a way that we could get you more out of your property than if you were able to keep going on about it by yourself, potentially adding to the headaches this property's already causing.
I mean, like, every agent's calling me saying that, they can get me more money, but nobody's telling me how. I feel like everyone just listed on MLS and forgets about it.
I'm sure. And I mean, and I can't speak for these agents, but we have worked with a lot of other families in this area. So at the end of the day, it would just be a conversation. Nobody's saying that you have to sign with me. It's just a talk to see if things make sense. Because like you said, you're not going to do anything unless it does, right?
Okay, break script.
Yeah.
Break script. Break script. Break script. All right. Christian stepped up. Right? Called him out on the spot. Christian, were you using a script or are you going off the top of your head?
I'm not going off the top.
Yeah, I can tell.
I had a script at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, like it's an old FSBO script I used to use.
Yeah, because here's the problem. You were all over the place kind of. And when you're not leading, they ain't following. Especially when you get towards the end where, look, a FSBO's got to feel like you're bringing them value. How are you? Like he told you twice, like everybody's saying they can sell it and they want to sell it. They can sell it for more, but nobody's telling me how they're going to bring me a buyer. Okay, well, he just told you what he wanted to hear. Like, look, I'll bring you a buyer. Let's sit down and talk about it. Because it's not about making a decision. By the way, you said something that I'm going to steal. But you said it too soon though. You said it right in the beginning. You go, hey, how'd you like to turn for sale by owner into for sale by realtor? That's a nice little line right there. That's a good line. That's a real good line, but not at the beginning of the conversation. Like that's when you got them on the ropes and like you feel like you're off, and then you've offered a ton of value and you feel like you're just right about there. And then you say something quirky like that makes them laugh and you go, seriously, come on, Tuesday at 4, Wednesday at 6, and you close them. That was a really, really good line. Just wrong time. Because you were flying by the seat of your pants. You were just winging it, right? So when you wing it, then the conversation sounds like you're winging it. And when you don't lead, they don't follow. Okay, rule number 1 for sale by owners. Let's do a quick, like super duper quick for sale by owner mastery. Okay, they want to talk about what? Mike said.
They want to talk about how they could get the most out of their property, save the most money.
Mike said, bring me a buyer.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. They want to know that you'll bring them a buyer, which Mike, in my for sale by owner script, which is one of the best scripts I've ever written, is like, hey, I want to know if you cooperate with me, an agent, cooperated compensation for an agent who brings a buyer. 9.5 times out of 10, they say yes. And they go, okay, great. Man, tell me a little bit more about the property, stuff I can't see online here. And now I start asking them about the property. Now what's happening? Exchange, 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 momentum, rapport, trust. Because I'm going to be able to dribble in there things about the market or things that exemplify my experience or knowledge. And I'm talking about what they want to talk about. Let's talk about how to find you a buyer. Sure. I mean, it's like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. It doesn't take long. Like, we're not sitting there a tremendous long period of time. I'm looking at the script right here. It's important for me to know about off-market opportunities, so I have a list of available properties. You're not in the multiple listing service as a listing right now, are you? Important question up front, because some of them are. Not many, but some. And then they tell me, and then they also confirm that they're not in relationship with anybody. Okay, confirm bed, bath, square foot. Scale of 1 to 10, what's the condition? What makes it a 10? Age of the AC unit, roof. I like to ask this question early because it puts them right on the defensive in a good way. I go, hey, any major defects I need to know about? Oh, no. And then they start explaining stuff. Awesome. I got them wanting to talk to me. Any major defects? They go, no, nothing wrong. We just do the AC, we put some carpet in, and the kitchen's been remodeled. Like, they go into this like wanting to give information on that question. Often I'll ask that question early. This is all in my for sale by owner script. And then, okay, is 500,000 still your asking price? I get confirmation. They go, no, I'm gonna adjust it. Hey, is that your bottom line? Did you get an appraisal? Okay, now I'm starting to see a little bit of doubt there, right? That's a high level question that I ask as a professional who understands real estate at a higher level, and that helps seed a little bit of doubt too. Any room to negotiate the price with a qualified buyer? Still talking about what they want to talk about. Mike. I mean, my for sale by owner conversations are gold because they will talk to me for the first 10 minutes. It's not even 10 minutes. Okay, to show the property, what do I have to do? Is it vacant? I call you. They're explaining, they're telling, they're sharing, they're showing. Okay, so as far as timing, okay, now here we go. Motivation. As far as timing, when would you like to sell? You got a tenant in there I need to worry about, 30 days, 60 days. Can you close quickly? And then now I've gotten so much out of them. Now I dig in deep and I give them the really want to know. Man, so what's important about selling right now? Where are you guys headed to? Now, they've already given me so much, Christian. They've given me so much that question comes out normally like 9.9 times out of 10. They tell me. They go, well, I'm actually blah, 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 blah. Because the rapport is so strong that they'll go and they'll give up what's going on. And then now it's my opportunity to repeat and approve at a higher level to get a little bit more. Oh, okay, what's important about that? So you got family over there? What about family over here? That's a big one, by the way. Oh, you're moving over there? Well, what about your family here? What do they think about that? Oh, they don't really care. Everybody's over there. What about everybody over there? No, they're really looking forward. I don't have anybody over there. Whatever. Get to know the people. All right, so what's that do for you? So what's important about that? Now I'm able to dig in on those motivational questions because I don't know yet on a FSBO. A lot of these FSBOs, they take 3 to 5 weeks to like move towards real consideration. Not always, though. I've listed for sale by owners that have gone FSBO first week. Anybody else do that? I knew Corey was going to raise his hand. First week. You know why? Because I'm just there to create conversation, not to get you to have an appointment with me to consider listing your home. That's not how the conversation starts. But it can go there sooner than later if I come from contribution. Okay, you'll cooperate a commission? What's going on? What's happening? All right, so what's your motivation? What's going on with that? Only before I've preceded motivation with situation. You guys see the playbook. Situation, motivation. It's there for a reason. Okay. And then I can go, maybe I already know the answer to this, but why did you decide to sell yourself rather than hire a professional? And they go, well, the money. Okay, well, now instead of me going, well, if I could get you more, which is everybody else says, and by the way, Mike, nobody says that to me. Nobody says, oh, everybody says the same thing. Nobody ever says that to me because I come from contribution initially. Now I create a better conversation. I go, so, what's the most important thing about trying to be for sale by owner? Why don't you just use a professional? Well, I want to make more money. Okay. Now I can dig in. Now I've earned the respect of the FSBO. I've earned it. And either I can make an appointment, I can do a drive-by, I could follow up, or I could trash. Happens sometimes, right? And then I figure out where I'm going to go from there, because FSBO guys, there's less of them, but those are really good conversations for you to be able to engage people who want to sell. You just have to have a better conversation so that you can figure out follow-up, appointment, trash. Questions, comments, concerns, Christian?
If they do hit me with the, everybody says the same thing. Like, even because sometimes I get that, even though I haven't even mentioned like bring a buyer, they just mention, oh, I'm getting all these calls. Everybody's saying the same thing to me. What do you want? If I do end up getting that, like, what's the best way to kind of get out?
Repeat, approve, and move on. It's like, well, yeah, I'd imagine a lot of people are saying that to you, even though I haven't said that to you, is because there's a lot of people out there, they just want to take your listing. And what I want to do is get to understand a little bit better where you're at, and maybe how I might be able to help. So tell me, and then I move. Okay. I just approve it better than other people can, because that's not who cares? Who cares? No. I got to respect I care about their feelings and how they think that there's a bunch of vultures out there, and that they don't know, but I know that most people they're talking to are amateur communicators.
So how would you close? Like, once you do got them?
How would I close? I go, look, let's do this. Obviously, you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense. Right, Christian?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so this is what we'll do. I'll pop by. I'll take a look at the property. If I can put a deal together off market, Christian, I will absolutely do that. I've done it before. My team's done it before. My office has done it before. However you got to use that, right? And I would love to do an off market deal with you. That would be fantastic. And let's do this. If you'd be willing to show me the property in case I can make an off market deal, I'd be willing to share with you how I could put more money in your pocket even after you listed, and take a look at what that option might look like. And then look, I'll leave you the information, and then you figure out where you want to go from there. But let's just have a conversation. We'll look at some options, and then you're going to figure out what's going to be best for you. Tuesday at 4 or Wednesday at 6? Dude, listen, guys, these are sheep. Be the shepherd. People don't follow people who are weak. But Tajay, you gotta flow, bro. You gotta flow. And you gotta be fluid and fluent. So, like, look, if you're gonna wing it after having the script internalized. Then you can wing it. But when you don't know what you're talking about, and you're trying to strong arm your way in or say something that sounds smart, dude, you're practicing on people, and you don't have a track record of success with that. Use a system that works. I'm telling you, my FSBO script's I think the best FSBO script out there, period. I know I'm biased, but because a lot of these FSBO scripts, Mike, are just go right into trying to convince and talk about listing the property, and dude, get away from that conversation, man. FSBO wants to talk about value. They want to talk about how you can help them. Okay, internet leads, circle prospecting, even my sphere. How are you coming in contribution? How are you getting to know the people so that you can have better conversations? James King, you better come next week with a role play partner.
Got you.
Yes, sir. All right.
Go.
Hey, appreciate you guys.